Welcome back to another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show. So happy to have you with me today. Remember to subscribe, share the podcast, leave comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, you can follow me online at katrinajohnson.online or on Instagram at I am Katrina Johnson. I thank you again for joining me, and let's get into the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show. I am so happy to have you with me today, and I'm so happy to share with you a guest, a good friend of mine. Her name is Marlynne Frierson Cooley. As I said, she's a good friend, a talented actress who is down to earth and a positive spirited woman of God. Marlynne is also a film producer. She is from Cleveland, Ohio, graduating from the University of Cincinnati, majoring in broadcasting, and holds a postgraduate in theater from the University of Akron. Her recent TV credits include Daddy Stop Embarrassing Me on the Jamie Foxx TV show on Netflix, Bless This Mess, a show on ABC, and This Is Us on NBC. Some of her recent theater credits include The Sugar Mamas, The Lynching of Effie Childs, Blessings, 12 Angry Jurors, Supernatural, and Harriet Tubman One Woman Show, and many more. Her recent film credits include A Love of a King and Trade on Amazon Prime, I Am Too an American, Jamie, It's Not Black Enough, and other films. She teaches spoken word and is a filmmaker who has produced 3 short films in the film festival arena. Marlynne is also a voiceover talent and consultant for the media. She produces and narrates audiobooks, which can be found on Amazon. Her latest is The Worldwide Concern About Alzheimer's Disease. Marlynne is a loving wife and mother, and I am blessed to have her on the show today. Thank you, Marlynne, for joining us today on the Katrina Johnson Show. I am so happy to have you on the show today because you're not only my friend, but you have a lot of experience in the industry of acting, and I just am so excited to have you share with the audience some just tips and just encouragement.
Well, I tell you, Katrina, thank you for having me on, and it's a pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get right into this. Tell us, how long have you been acting?
Wow. I've been acting for a long time, okay? I started, acting when I was about 27, just taking acting classes and stuff like that. And that's when I really got into it. So I'm going to, you could probably guess my age on that. But anyway, I'm just going to say about 25 years.
Awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of dedication.
Yes, it is.
All right. So some people, they want to become famous, and that's why they get into the entertainment industry, whether it's music or acting or what have you. What inspired you to become an actress?
Well, truthfully, I didn't want to get into it to be famous. I guess I came up in a generation that we watched television, and I just really, really enjoyed it. A lot of people always tell me, "Oh, Mom, you got so much energy and all of that," and it was just something that I always used to imitate when I was a little girl. Just making up scenes and stuff like that, and doing little skits. So it was just something I think that was always in my heart. I always liked the imitation of life. I always did.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, and that's true. I know you, and you have a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy, and I think that's what makes us compatible, because we both have energy, and we treasure that. I mean, it's a good thing. And so it sounds like you've always had it in you, and it's just something that came pretty natural to you, and over the years you just honed in on it.
Yes, because truthfully, I think I always wanted to be an actor. When I was a kid, but I had no mentor or what kind of direction or how to do it because of the people I was around. Nobody wasn't really thinking about being an actor.
Right.
So, so instead of going into acting, I majored in broadcasting, which is also still, the media in front of people. So that was always a desire in my heart to always be working in the media. Yeah.
Awesome. And so then, what should people consider before they start an acting career? What do you suggest people?
Okay. First of all, you gotta, you really enjoy it and you really want to do it. Okay. So, if you're going to first get in it, I always tell people take acting classes or get into plays, audition for plays. That's the best way of really learning and really learning your craft. That's what I did. I started taking acting classes and then I started doing a lot of theater. Theater is the best way how to get into it. And then once you really, get into it, you can invite, it depends what city you're in or whatever, but you can invite agents to come see you, and see your performance and look for an agent and, just keep practicing your craft and go to workshops. And because one thing about this field, you're always practicing. Okay, it's just like a musician, and that's how you have to get into it, and that's how I got into it. I just started doing plays, hanging out with people who were artists, and just having a good time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then also, one more thing, you have a lot of people who can major in theater. Okay, that's a good way to go to college because there's so many elements now in the arts that you can do to learn the business. Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned having an agent. So is that something you do right away, or like how far into it?
Well, it depends. I mean, you get your pictures done. You want to get a photo and everything and have a resume and you can submit it out there. Of course, you got LA Casting and Actors Access. Things are so, when I first came up, they would you would mail your pictures to the agencies. But now you have a lot of websites that you can go on and just put your picture up there and your picture, resume, and just let people know you're looking for an agent or they're looking for talent. And that's most of the way, that's how I got my agents. I did do a play called Supernatural in Los Angeles, and that's how I got a theatrical agent. He saw me performing, and a lot of people get agents that way too when you're doing plays. There's agents out there, agents out there, there's casting directors out there, so you never know who's looking at you.
So that's why it's important to keep busy in your art, in that craft, and just so that you can have the exposure.
Exactly. And now, as you know, you got social media.
Right.
Well, now it's changing. One thing about this business, it changes all the time. Okay? So you got to be ready and you got to be current of what's going on right now.
Right.
So that's how it works.
Yes. And technology just makes everything kind of like at your fingertips.
Yes, because right now, which I love, we do a lot of self-taping. Self-taping means you're auditioning, you're taping yourself at home. With the COVID and everything, the COVID just changed the whole game.
Yes.
Before you had to go in, you audition. But I was even though before the COVID, I was starting to do self-tapes anyway at home, which I like, and because you can save on gas and you're right there at home, but you have to be the production person and everybody to get it right.
Right.
So you got to have somebody to read with you, or they have technology and apps out here now that you don't even need nobody to read with you. They got this technology. They'll get the script and they'll read it for you or whatever.
Right.
So, so the business is constantly changing, constantly. So now we're at home doing self-tapes. Some actors like it, some don't.
Right, right. And what's interesting to me, I've just noticed so many people on social media that they may be aspiring actors or actresses, or they may have always liked the idea of doing it. And so, some of their marketing techniques they're actually acting. We've got these people advertising and marketing, and they're doing the skits, they're doing this and that. And I'm saying, wow, I wonder if people are being discovered that way. You know what I'm saying?
Because they are because matter of fact, it's how many followers you have. And,
right.
And an actress, I can't think of her name right now, but she was talking about it. She's been in the business for a while. And she was just saying, wow, what about all the people who really practice their craft of learning to be an actor? But now you have a social media, and it's all about how many followers you have.
Yes.
And from that now, believe it or not, and even a lot of actors and even some casting directors said they really don't like doing it. But that's the new thing.
Right.
And if a person has a lot of followers, yes, you could be cast in a commercial, you could be cast in television, and you could be cast in film.
Yes.
So a lot of it's going that way.
Right.
And, but,
yes,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's the way it is nowadays. And, that's technology, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So, well, actually, in your bio, as I stated in the intro, you're a filmmaker as well. What prompted you to write short films? And I was a part of one of your short films.
Yes,
I kind of helped you out a little bit with that one, and I thought it was so interesting. I really did enjoy just being there on the set. But what prompted you to write short films?
Okay, so as an actor nowadays, because you can't just wait by the phone and get an audition and hope you're going to get a booking. It's good to create your own stuff, And so that's what I started doing because I had ideas myself. I kind of know the business pretty well and how to put it together.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine who's a very good writer, Gwen Wright, we do a lot of plays. She's a very good writer, and we have produced plays and everything. And so she had one play called Effie on the Other Side of the Gun, and it's a period piece. And she was like, "Oh, Marlynne, maybe we should try to do a short film." I said, "Well, yeah, let's do it." So we wrote. It was only like about almost 10 minutes, and I was the main character and everything. And and it's a great showcase to show your talent, and also getting into the film festivals and other festivals they have on television. And so that's how I came up with Effie, and I really enjoy it, because I produced it. And the other short film we did is about the pandemic. That's a very micro budget. My daughter's in that. It's about depression during the pandemic as a young adult,
right,
going through it. Like if you're 19 or 20, and it's a very small micro budget means it's like a 2 or 3 minute short. And then the one you worked on is Salvation Love, which I'm very proud of.
Yes, beautiful.
As you know, it's about mental illness. It's about homelessness, and it's just about a lot of things going on that a lot of people can relate. And you were a production assistant, and I was so glad that you helped me with that. So I really enjoy producing. I co-wrote on that one. I did co-write on that one. The other two I produced.
Right.
And I just enjoy doing it. Hopefully I could get to a feature. I do have one more that I'm looking into that I would like to shoot, Sister's Devotion. And that's going to be about dementia and Alzheimer's. So, I'm trying to do social issues that people can relate to and have in their family, that, these issues that we're dealing with.
Right.
So, so now I'm a filmmaker. And I think as an actor, you should be all well-rounded. That's what's happening now. You really need to know the whole business.
Right. And mostly because you're creative, you're a creative being. And so, like you said, you don't want to just sit by the phone waiting for the audition calls because of all the creativity that you have within you. You want to express that. And you can do it all, So I think, hats off to your, the projects that you've done, the one that I was a part of. I can't wait to see that, hopefully.
Yes, what we're doing, we're submitting them to film festivals. We have somebody that's kind of interested, maybe on one of Roku or one of the cable stations.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. We're just
good.
working on things right now, and the main thing is getting it out there so people can see your work.
Awesome. Great job on that one, I know, and I'm sure the others. All right, so let's talk about people and how, a lot of people base their ability to accomplish things in life on their age. So, in your opinion, is it ever too late to get into acting or to fulfill your dreams, no matter what it is?
No, it's not, especially in acting, because remember, it's an imitation of life. So everybody is all different ages. And matter of fact, now when I go on auditions, it's some people who have retired and they're starting a new career. And so, no, age does not mean anything. Before, you get over 40 or 50, you're like, oh my God, I'm old. Because that's still a very good age, because see, the young actors, they need mothers, they need grandmothers.
Yeah.
So, we need all of that. So I think that was something that I had to really overcome, because, you're like, wow, I've been in this business for a while. I'm getting over there, getting over the hill, but it's okay, because you become more of a mature actor.
Right, you're more seasoned.
You feel more seasoned, you live longer, because as you become an actor, I think the longer you live and the more experience you have, you can really get into that character.
Right.
So, no, people tell me all the time, it's not about age.
No.
Because, listen, if you stop dreaming, then I guess you're not living anymore.
Exactly. I concur. I agree with that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, when we talk about acting and the movies and TV shows, what actors are doing, they're portraying real people. And so we don't live in a world that's full of young people or a world that's full of older people, or it's a mixture. This is culture. So there's a space and a place for everyone, I think.
That's right, because that's why we have inclusion. Just because you handicap or you're blind or you can't hear, that's opening up for a lot of people too.
Exactly.
Deaf and everything. So a lot of things are really, really opening up.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Right. And then when it comes to rejection, no one likes rejection. And I know actors may not always get the part that they audition for, which can be upsetting, especially after multiple rejections. How can a person overcome rejection, especially in an industry that is prone to it? Because I'm sure you've experienced it as part of, it comes with the game, right?
Oh, yes, that is the game.
Yep.
Okay, one thing about this business, you're going to deal with rejection. Bottom line. That's what it's about. Okay? As an actor, really an actor is about auditioning. You get an audition, that's really a great thing, guys, because, you're really close to getting the job. And, of course, there's a lot of competition out there. But you can't let it get you down. I had to learn that, too. What you got to do, you do the audition and you let it go. You got to let it go. And because I've been on, I've been on a lot of auditions and I've had callbacks, and you really feel so good about what you've done, but it's really not sometimes about your acting. It's about what they're looking for, because sometimes they do cast on the look.
Right.
A lot of times, because I'll look at some TV shows that I've auditioned for, and I'll look at the actor and I say, okay, let me see who they cast. And I'm like, wow,
okay.
We're nothing. We don't look anything alike. You know what I mean?
Right.
But one thing about this business, you got to have strong will, because that's the name of the game. It's going to be rejection.
Right.
And, and if it's something you really want to do, you just got to hang in there like I'm doing. And, since I've been hanging in there, I've gotten a couple of acting jobs and booking, but I would like to book more.
Right.
I'd like to book more.
And then just going on auditions, it just helps you, I think you might have mentioned this earlier, to hone in on your craft, and you get that experience, and you stay, you stay relevant.
Right. And it's good. And, you should practice. What I was saying, I was going to start just practicing anyway. Pretend it is an audition. So, if you got copy, and you can read it, size or something that they gave you to audition, go ahead. Just practice on your own if you can, constantly keep practicing, because auditioning, it's a technique to it. It really is. And a lot of people don't like auditioning. You got a lot of people who've been in the business for a while, you know, and they still have to audition. And then some you don't. You get offered, you know, for the job. I have been offered maybe twice or something like that, you know, for something. But most of the time, I do have to audition.
Yes.
So the name of the game, guys, rejection, but don't let it get to you. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
All right. Amen. So what are some of the biggest challenges you've experienced as an actress? I mean, rejections, I'm sure, is one. But how did you overcome those challenges? What are some of the challenges and how have you overcome?
Wow. You know, I try not to let it get me down. You know, then sometimes you're like, okay, am I really supposed to be in this business? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you get yourself second guessing yourself.
Right.
You know, and you're like, and I ain't gonna lie, then you do a little praying too, and then God shows you, you know, all of a sudden a miracle might happen, and like, wow, okay, I got booked in this, and then it's just something in your heart, you know what I mean? It's just something, you gotta love it. It's something that you really enjoy, and it's just bedded in you. I mean, that's how it is for me. So I just realized, okay, that's the name of the game. I'm just going to keep on doing it. And so that's how I deal with the obstacles. Just continue, you know, getting your pictures together, you know, keep practicing your craft, keep networking, you know, just keep working and keep pushing. And so that's how I do it. And, you know, a lot of actors, yes, they, you know, always keep a part-time job, keep a job.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of actors, you know, a lot of them have their degrees, like, you know, I have mine, and, you know, I'm a teacher. I have taught kids theater and stuff like that, and I've had all kind of nice jobs, you know, good sales jobs and working in the newspaper and radio and TV. So it's always good to have a job, you know, unless you really get your break. And you're working full-time on TV and you're getting feature films constantly. Okay, you don't need the 9 to 5, but, you know, be realistically about it because you have to eat, survive, and live.
Exactly. Wow. So that brings me to what motivates you to keep striving in the entertainment industry?
Well, I guess because some people, you know, they'll call me and say, "Hey, I need you to do something, Marlynne. You know, can you be in the film? Or I need a voiceover, or I'm constantly getting auditions." So I figured if I'm getting auditions, I must be doing something right. And then sometime the casting director of that television show will continue for me to audition. Okay, so that means they like me. So I'm like, okay, I must be doing something right. And so that's why I stay in the game.
Okay. Yeah. So up to now, what would you say you're most proud of in your career?
Wow. Well, I've done a few things, okay? You know, I'm gonna start with theater. I did, of course, people should know this play. It's a classic, Raisin in the Sun, Rain Hansberry. I played Ruth, and I got nominated for NAACP award.
Awesome.
I was very proud of that, and then I was on the road for a play called Living Room. We toured in all the states. I know people probably heard of Beauty Shop, and I toured with them. That was kind of back in the day, but it was such a wonderful experience.
Awesome.
And then just being cast on some of the television shows that I've done, you know, working with other actors, you know, you like Jamie Foxx, my last one, that was pretty cool. And I got a chance to, you know, meet him and, you know, some other actors that was on there. And then really, I'm kind of really proud of, I guess my last film I just did, Salvation Love. You know, it's, 25 minutes. It's really good. And I really put everything together. I produced it, and I felt good about that.
Wow.
And you know, just staying in the game. Staying in the game.
Right. Absolutely. So, can you share some tips as we're closing here? Some tips for people who are seeking to get into the entertainment business. I know you've probably shared a few already, but what tips can you give people that are just trying to get into?
You know, to me, I had to learn this, I mean, the money's good. Don't get it twisted. The money's good. But sometimes it takes time to get there. So don't do it just because of the money.
Right.
Okay?
Good.
Because it's a little journey to get there. Unless you have connections, or Denzel Washington kids, or, your parents are already in there.
Yes.
But the best way to do it is constantly doing theater, networking. It's a business. Run it like a business.
Run it like a business.
And I think the more, if you run it like a business, more opportunities will come.
Awesome. That's some good advice.
Yeah. So those are tips I advise, like I said, build your skills up, get some nice pictures, get on the websites. Actors Access, LA Casting, get your resume. And, nowadays, with all the technology, everybody will come to Los Angeles. I mean, we're still here. Don't get it twisted. We still have a lot of things here. But Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Of course. Atlanta is doing amazing things. So it's not like you have to run there, And if you do come here, to Los Angeles to pursue acting, have your finances, in line.
Yes.
So you don't have to sweat about it.
Right.
But, and network with people, and then find some mentors. Find some mentors and get some coaching. I do coach a little bit, but I also have a friend that coaches me on my auditions.
Awesome.
So run it like a business, everybody.
Run it like a business, and know that it takes time. Yes. All right. Those are some gems. Hope you guys took notes on that. So in closing, Marlynne, my friend, what words of inspiration and encouragement can you share with our listeners who may be wanting to give up on pursuing their dreams? No matter what the dream is, it doesn't have to be entertainment, but it could be anything. Some people get to a point where they're just, feeling like, okay, this is not going to happen. What I dreamed for is not coming to fruition, and they're ready to toss in the towel.
And that's when something's going to happen.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, that's when usually something happens. I hear a lot of actors say that. They just like, oh, I'm tired of this. As soon as they say that, they get casted in something.
Yes.
But I guess the thing is just keep on dreaming, keep on pushing, keep praying. I mean, if this is something that you really want, don't give up.
Yes.
Don't give up, because you see how long I've been doing it, and things have been happening for me.
Yeah.
I know last year, in 2020, even though we were going through COVID, oh my God, I got so many auditions. It was like 5-6 auditions in a day.
Wow.
I've never done that before, and I was like, wow, okay, it's coming through, okay. And I think the longer you stay in it, that's when things are really going to happen.
Yes.
And some people been in it for a long haul. I see a lot of people I've worked with. I know Kim Whitley. Kim started off when I started off, because she was in beauty shop, and look at her now. She really pursued, because sometimes things happen in your life. You're raising kids.
Right.
You have to move, which was my situation. I had to move, but, still keep on pushing wherever you go.
Right.
And my advice, don't give up.
Don't give up. Ooh, and on that note, how can people find you? Where can people find out more about you, book you for auditions, film projects, and voiceovers, coaching?
Yes. Yes, and I just wanted to mention about my voiceovers. I do commercials on that, and I do coaching and consulting. Anyway, they can reach me at my Instagram, which is Marlynne Cooley. Marlynne Cooley, Cooley. And then my email, Joyful Heart Theater. That's all together, Joyful Heart, and then T is in Tom, HEATER, which is the old-fashioned way, theater, at yahoo.com.
Awesome.
And you can reach me there.
Awesome. Well, this was a great show. I thank you again, my sister, for coming on and sharing some gems with the audience. And I we're going to talk because we're friends.
Yes,
So
yes, and I just thank you, Katrina. You're doing such a wonderful thing, and you're helping a lot of people. You inspire me a lot. You really do. When I'm listening to your podcast, and because everybody has a day that you feel like, oh wow,
yes, we all do.
That day, and you got to get pumped back up,
right?
Again. And with your podcast and your inspirational of your words, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, now you're right on. You're right on. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you for coming on the show, and really appreciate you.
You too.
Okay. Let's keep the conversation going by emailing me at katrina@katrinajohnson.online. That's katrina@katrinajohnson.online. So grateful that you joined me on this episode. Remember, information plus inspiration equals transformation. And until next time, stay inspired.